In the back, can you hear me? Terrific, terrific. Hey folks, my name is Brian. I've been working on a project called Ucash for the last 2.5 years, and Sunny gave a pretty good introduction to what it was. So Ucash is a technology company that allows money service businesses, retail shops, even individuals, the capabilities to provide services similar to what a bank does. And so if you think about what a bank does in your relationship with your bank, a bank allows you to load up funds and securely hold your funds. A bank also allows you to withdraw funds. And a bank gives you access to financial services, right? So we do the exact same thing. We allow all of these money service businesses, retail shops, individuals, we turn them essentially into converters. So Ucash converters on our platform is synonymous to drivers on the Uber network, synonymous to hosts on the Airbnb network, where they can actually allow other users and local people to load up their Ucash account and then have access to financial services. Right, so to kind of backtrack as to how we got to this, when I first discovered Bitcoin, it was back in 2013, 2014, and the moment really clicked to me in the sense of what this technology can do. I dropped everything that I had, I jumped on with my co-founder, he's in the background, I was in the back there, and we essentially ran a company called SecureCoin that allowed these money service businesses to purely buy and sell Bitcoin out of their stores for cash. So you can actually walk into one of these money service businesses, a payday loan location, for example, with cash and walk out with Bitcoin. Or you can walk in with Bitcoin and walk out with cash. And so that was back in 2013, 2014. Now throughout running SecureCoin, we learned a lot of things. Right? We learned that the promise of Bitcoin for it to be your own bank, there were certain limitations with that. We also learned that money service businesses actually exist everywhere globally. We also learned that as running a Bitcoin company, the banks that were actually that we were banked with shut us down, right? So that actually led us to essentially play the role of what banks provide, what banks provide, right? Because we realized that it wasn't just us that had issues finding banking services, but there were many other industries that were having issues getting bank accounts. For example, these money service businesses, these payment loan locations, remittance locations, foreign exchange locations, these businesses that provide financial services that aren't banks actually can't get bank accounts, right? And so essentially what we've done was we decided to, you know what, we are going to build a technology that allows you to provide services similar to what a bank does. So a scenario is one of our stores over at Pickering. You can actually go to that Pickering store with cash, load up your Ucash account, and then have access to financial services. So imagine being able to go to that Pickering store with $1,000, loading up your Ucash account, and then being able to send that amount over to, let's say, my grandma over in Vietnam. And then she can actually use a local converter in that area to cash out to the local currency. So we just did a full end-to-end remittance transaction without the need of any bank in between, purely facilitated through peer-to-peer interactions. Now, that's really the first, that's one of the use cases that you can do on our platform. The immediate use case that we're looking for right now is actually providing cryptocurrency buy and sell solutions, right? So right now, with all the hype that's going on in the crypto space, there's a lot of first-time users. Maybe show of hands if this is your first Bitcoin conference that you've gone to. It's about half the room, right? So I find myself actually speaking a lot to new users, and it's actually a very important point that the businesses and folks who have been in the crypto space for a while be evangelists and bring on the new users. And so that's what we did with Ucash. We decided when we first started with Ucash, Bitcoin was amazing, right? For the first time ever, you were able to there is a currency that existed outside of government control that you could send across borders anytime you want under your own control. But one of the issues we found with Bitcoin is that in order for an average user to use Bitcoin as their bank, there were some issues with it. One is the difficulty of getting Bitcoin, right? After having to worry about public keys, private keys, setting up on exchange, and all the things that come with it. The second issue is that the moment it's great if you have Bitcoin, but if I send Bitcoin over to my grandma over in Vietnam, unless shops are accepting it or unless she can actually utilize it, there's actually no sense in actually having Bitcoin, right? And so what we decided to do was we decided to bring together all of these money service businesses that exist worldwide, right? Here they exist as payday loan locations, foreign exchange locations, remittance locations. In India, they exist as mobile minute shops. In Papua New Guinea, they exist as shops that actually take in shells. So the idea of Ucash is actually to be a value agnostic platform where you can load up in any type of currency, whether it's fiat, crypto, or anything else, be able to utilize financial services on the platform and be able to withdraw anywhere that you want. So where this is actually particularly going to be valuable is the unbanked regions. Right? We're talking to the tune of 2 to 2.5 billion people that don't have access to banking services or banking infrastructure that we benefit. That means that they have to hold their cash, their physical cash, underneath their mattress in their attic because there is no place to put it. Well, with something like Ucash, which all you need to get up and running as a converter, as essentially a mini bank, is an internet connection, a computing device, and some cash to allow people to come in or cash out. And then so now, imagine a rural village in Vietnam, you have a Western Union shop that can turn into a Ucash converter that allows all the local people, unbanked folks, to digitize their income, and now they can send it over to their family globally. They can now buy stuff on eBay and Amazon. They can now participate in the global financial economy, right? And so where we're at right now is we're nearing the end of our tech stack. We actually have our alpha version now, so we have locations here in Toronto and as well as India, where we're essentially doing tests out of the stores. You can actually go into our Bakery store and actually load up your account. But the idea is to be able to load up your account, be able to instantly buy and sell any crypto, be able to cash out at any time, and then have access to financial services from there. Because I fundamentally believe that your largest, if you think about the sharing economy, which is what we're doing, we're a technology company that allows peer-to-peer transactions. The biggest hotel company is Airbnb. They don't own any hotels. The biggest taxi company is Uber. They don't own any taxis. I strongly believe that in the future, your largest and most valuable financial institutions will not own any banks. They will be technology providers that give superpowers to existing infrastructure to facilitate services to the local network. And that's what Ucash is. We have our booth outside. We're also doing something called an IBO, which is an initial bounty offering. Who here has heard of ICOs? Right. So ICOs are a way where companies, organizations are raising funds to build out their projects. And investors in ICOs are essentially giving Bitcoin or Ethereum or some token that actually has value for a token that doesn't have value in hopes that it could appreciate in value. Right? In our case, we actually have an internal token that is actually used for prepaid financial services. So whenever there's any financial transaction on our platform, it actually uses our internal token, which is the Ucash token. So currently right now, we're distributing out our Ucash tokens via an IBO model. So the purpose of IBO, the initial bounty offering, is that in addition to be able to exchanging Bitcoin and Ethereum for Ucash tokens, you can also work for Ucash tokens. So a mission like Ucash, which is to build a global financial services network, is going to take a lot of help from a lot of people. So essentially what we've done is we've taken critical elements of what it is to build out this global bank, and we packaged each of these into a job posting, posted up on a global job posting board, and now anyone globally can participate in Ucash's mission. So for example, yesterday I had someone send in a Russian translation to our English white paper, and they're in Russia. And the reason why they translated that paper is because they believe in our mission, they believe in empowerment through financial services, and so they sent in that completed Russian white paper to receive $3,000 worth of Ucash. And now when that bounty hunter, is what we call them, receives $3,000 worth of Ucash tokens, they can either hold it because it may appreciate in value, although that's not the reason why we're doing a bounty offering. They can use it for financial services on our platform, or they can actually cash out using a local converter. So through our model, we can actually but allow anyone globally to participate in Ucash's mission and actually cash out using a local converter. Right, so there's a lot of directions that Ucash can go because we position ourselves as a platform. And I ultimately believe as additional fintech companies are produced, as additional crypto companies are produced, they're going to utilize our platform as a method to offer their services to end users through our converter network. Love to open the floor to any questions. Pardon me?
I don't understand who would use the platform as opposed
Yeah, definitely. So one of the use cases, thank you. So the idea is that after you load up your UCash account, you have access to financial services, right? So you use the converter to load up your UCash account. After you've loaded up your UCash account, the same way after you've loaded up money into your bank account, you have access to financial services. Our financial services in this case are two kinds. One are your traditional financial services. So the ability to send money across borders, the ability to pay bills, the ability to take out loans, the ability to give loans, all in a peer-to-peer fashion. The second type of financial services, the reason why you want to load up your UCash account, is access to crypto services. So the ability to instantly buy and sell crypto on our platform. Right? Imagine being able to go into any store with cash, loading up your account, and instantly converting it to Bitcoin, or Ethereum, or any other cryptocurrency that's on our platform. Right, so those are the two main use cases right now, and within each of those areas you can delve deeper. So for example, traditional financial services that you can do. You can dig deep down into remittance, since we offer end-to-end remittance without the need of any central authority in between. We can talk about bill payments. We can talk about peer-to-peer loans, microtransactions. Because the moment you're able to load up your account onto UCash, then you have access to a whole suite of financial services. And it's our position that we are a technology company that connects two individuals together. And so we're actually partnering with other financial service providers that can help facilitate additional use cases for our users. Does that answer your question? Great. Question over there.
I want to find out what your business model is, and as well as who are some of the major partners you have currently or work with.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great question. So when you ask business model, you're essentially asking how do we make money, right? So if you think about any sharing economy-based model, the money fees are actually charged on the entity that's providing value to the network. So for example, Uber, they charge their drivers. Airbnb, they actually charge their hosts, right? And they're beginning now to charge their end consumers. On our end, anytime you load up your UCash account via converter, they charge a transaction fee. And we actually have a base fee that we charge all of our converters, of which then the converters can charge anything that they like on top of that. That's one way we earn. Fees. The other way is that anytime there is any transaction on our platform, we earn a small percentage fee as well. Right? Does that make sense? And then, sorry, your second question was?
Who are some of your major partners currently and
Yeah, so our major partners right now are actually in Canada money service businesses. The reason why is these are businesses that operate in the money services area, don't have access to banking services, so that's a solution we can instantly provide for them. And we also provide additional revenue lines for them, right? Because to money service businesses, it's all about return on their money for them, right? So if they're able to move money using you in a way that's safe, they're interested. Right, so that's one here in Canada. The second one are remittance companies. So I find that remittance companies globally are actually looking to expand their business line beyond remittance. They're actually looking to go into bill payments, into loans, that kind of thing. So remittance companies are actually really valuable to us because they are the ideal converter locations. They have physical locations everywhere you can go into, cash in, and cash out. And there's a couple other ones as well you can find me afterwards.
One last question. Who are some of your competitors?
Pardon me?
Who are your competitors in the space?
Right. So we actually have quite a bit of competitors in the space. But what I find is that we don't have one true competitor. Because of the fact that we're a platform that offers multiple financial services, there isn't any other company that's doing that. You have companies like Abra that's siloed into providing remittance services, using a model similar to our converter model, but their focus is purely remittance. You have companies that are focusing purely on peer-to-peer loans. You have other companies that are focusing purely on bill payments. So I guess individual services, we have competition individually. But what we're positioning ourselves is as an all-encompassing financial services platform, right? And so that's where the difference lies. I think I'm out of time. So we have a booth outside. We're going to be here for the rest of the evening. So if folks have questions, feel free to come by and chat if you have to answer any questions. Thank you very much.